Hey everyone, it's Jordan from Fishkeeping Made Easy, and today we're going to set up a brand new aquascape. So back in December, I bought a 200 litre Fluval tank off one of my managers at Fishkeeper, thank you Tony. So now I'm finally getting round to scaping it. So I took a trip round all the different local fish shops in my area for all the different hardscapes and plants. Unfortunately we couldn't film in every shop, so there's not that much footage, but hopefully when restrictions lift a little bit I can do some local fish shop tours, as a lot of people have been asking for that on Instagram and YouTube. Now we kind of had a plan for the scape, but once we went to Central Aquatics, I'll put the link to their Facebook page in the description, we found so many great bits of wood that we just started mucking around with them, seeing what we could do, and basically we ended up completely reinventing the scape that we'd originally planned. One bit of advice for aquascaping that I would give people is just to take the bits of hardscape and things like that and play around with them in the shop. Now some shops will have a tank laid out so you can muck around with hardscape. This shop didn't, but the owner was happy enough for us just to use the floor. So these are all the different materials we're using for the scape. We have some 1-2 Grow Tropica carpeting plants, we have some moss, we have some crypts, we have some anubias, we have some lava rock, we have some dragonstone, and we have this amazing bit of wood here. So we begin the scape by adding some sand just for our rocks to go on, as we don't want to put the rocks directly on the glass as it could potentially crack it. This lava rock is to be sort of a foundation to hold the wood, but it's also to kind of give the scape a little bit more height. I would say if you're wanting to do anything like that, lava rock is a good selection as it's really light, so it's quite cheap. So we decided to basically kind of put the wood upside down to how you would normally use it. The idea is we're going to put moss and anubias and all these different types of things on it, but it also gives it some nice height, and we might have a few bits just sort of poking out of the water. So at this point we love the scape, but there's a different idea that we both have that we want to try. Now I've always set up a scape with sort of the scape in mind, and I've never halfway through it changed it because I've had a different idea, but that's exactly what we do now, and have a look. So the other scape's idea was to get that bit of dragonstone and kind of use that to balance the bit of wood. We weren't sure if the colours would be a bit better. you can tell from our faces that we weren't impressed with this scape at all, but let us know in the comments which bit of hardscape you liked better, the first one or the second one. And so we went back to our original plan. As always, struggling to get the bit of wood into the tank. As you can see, the bit of wood just looks incredible with all the mosses and anubias on it. I'll put down here what the actual mosses were, as I don't want to say them, as I'll just murder the pronunciations. And a few little touch-ups to the hardscape. So next we add some Jbl Aqua Base. Now this stuff just really helps your plants to grow, it gives them the nutrients that they need. However, you need to make sure that you put something on top of this so it doesn't all just float out into the water column. Next, we add JBL's Volcano Minerals. Now, this stuff just helps to keep our foundation layer from floating up into the water column, but it also gives a good area for beneficial bacteria to grow because it's quite a porous little bit of rock. Next, we added a layer of gravel. What we really wanted to do with this scape was to have a substrate that was a mix of sand and gravel, and this would give us a nice natural look. Now, to finish off the hardscape, we still wanted to use some of that dragon stone that we bought, so what we tried to do was create this sort of irigumi sort of idea to the right hand side of the tank. So on one side we've got this sort of foresty look, and on the other side we've got this Japanese irigumi look. Let us know what you think about this, as we know a golden rule is not to mix different types of hardscape, so don't mix different types of woods and don't mix different types of rocks, but I kind of feel this looks kind of cool. So now it's time to start planting some of the plants. Now we got quite a lot of different plants, as you can see, baby val going in the back there, some different crypts going in at the front. We also got some carpeting plants and some stem plants for the back. Now, I don't want to murder any of the pronunciations of any of these plants, so if there's any plants you want to know the name of, just leave a comment and we can answer, no problem. And this is the complete aquascape. And finally, it's time to fill the tank. Now, we use some bubble wrap. This helps just to cushion the fall of the water and just alleviates all the splashing. Although it's inevitable, there's nothing more annoying than an uprooted plant when you're putting the water in. So, as expected, disaster struck when we started filling the tank halfway up. The wood started floating. Now, normally I would put the wood in a bucket and let it sort of soak for a while, but we bought all the hardscape and stuff there and then, and we wanted to build the tank today. So, unfortunately, that's the end of the video for now, but stay tuned for updates, so make sure you subscribe, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.